My name is Forrest Knight, social media marketing strategist and coach with the Hidden Group, and a social media marketing strategist. I love helping people succeed online. I'm on a mission to have no more empty refrigerators and make an extreme impact and be an equity creator. And I hope you are too. So we're going to talk about, in this video, we're going to talk about 3 reasons why a DMO is very, very important. And those 3 reasons are: 1, real quick, and we'll go through those. 1 is to remain consistent. 2, allow flexibility. And 3, track and measure what you're doing. So here's remaining consistent. One of the reasons, and we'll talk about a couple of things in terms of a DMO. So what is a DMO? DMO stands for daily method of operation. So the first thing that you want to do, hey, Forrest, thanks for swinging by. Hey, Robert, thanks for swinging by. Sabette, thanks for swinging by. Jumping in here. I'm in a little bit of a fast mode today. I don't know why. I can just like chill down here a little bit. We'll get it going. Again, this is the prelim, the pre-launch for the 5,000 day or 5,000 day. How about the 5,000 prospecting blitz challenge? We're going to start that a week from today on Monday. We're going to start it right here on this channel. Anyone that wants to jump in, we're going to be talking about, or we're going to have a challenge. If anybody can play, it doesn't matter who you are. We're going to be reaching out to 5,000 people from this coming Monday, the 24th, all the way through June 30th. We're going to have some prizes. We're going to have some prizes contests. There is no contest. We're going to have some prizes thrown in there over the 30 days. And the reason, actually, it's 38 days, I think it is. Yeah, that's the number. If you're doing the math, it's 132 people a day you're going to have to reach out to. And we'll talk about how to do that in different ways, so you don't just get stuck on social media. I'm excited. And then over the next 7 days from now until we launch up through next Monday, today we're talking about the DMO. We're going to talk about scripts, how to market on LinkedIn, Facebook pages, Instagram, following up using Google Sheets, and of course, just sort of time all that in together. So see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, and that's the thing. There. That's why this DMO is very, very important. So when you have a DMO, it's very, very important to be flexible. I use this progress planner, and I'll even grab my new one that's not written in yet. Just move it in my next one. This is a progress planner. Here I've got a second one that's ready to go. I've still got 6 months left in the one that I have, but I bought this because I was able to get it. They had it on sale, so I figured I'd get me a little bit of a discount on one of those while they had them on sale. But this will give you an idea of my progress planner. And why am I showing this? That's the first 3 days. Here's the last 4 days of the week. That's part of my progress planner. I also use Google Sheets for my follow-ups. So one of the things that's very, very important in your daily routine, especially if you're doing this as a side hustle. Now, if you're doing this as a full-time gig, a little bit different. You got to schedule your days out a little bit different. But we'll talk about those 2 opportunities. So first of all, like I said, your DMO stands for your daily method of operation. In your daily method of operation, you've got to set that, especially for building your business, inside of your regular daily routine. So your daily routine is going to be all of your other stuff: your wife, your husband, your dog, your kids, your cats, your school, your work, your job, all the stuff you do that's not related to building your side hustle gig, right? That's the other stuff. So it's very, very important that you have that planned out as well, so that you know that you're not just flying by the seat of your pants and you're never getting the results that you want, is because you don't know what the heck you're doing. So it's very, very important that you write it down, right? Having a written DMO is something that's very, very important, so that you can see it, so that you can check it off, so that you can feel accomplished. So that's actually one reason. You can throw that in as reason number 4, I guess. Is feeling accomplished, feeling like you're getting something done. But more importantly, as I lay out my week, like this week, for example, is going to be completely different than next week. The reason this week is going to be a little bit different because as coaches, we had our meeting with Ray this morning. We had a coaches meeting this afternoon, which is basically every Monday we have those where the coaches get together. On Wednesday, I'm doing the inner circle training inside the inner circle with everybody. So that's my slot for this week. And of course, this coming Sunday, I've got I'm doing the Ray Daily, filling in and doing that for Ray. So this week is a little bit different than the rest of my week. So I had to put that on my hard calendar in my planner. I also put my coaching calls that I have with my coaching clients in there. Then I can take a look at what do I help, what else do I have time blocked in for when I can look at the rest of my day. Now, if you have a full-time job, of course, you want to put your full-time job in there. You might want to even throw in when you put on lunch. And the reason I'm talking about that is that's what I did, is I put my lunch breaks in there. So on my lunch breaks, I could actually sit down, eat my pastrami sandwich, drink my lemonade, and do some prospecting and a follow-up depending on what I needed to do in that day. So daily method of operation, how does it work? How much time do you spend on it? Well, that's totally up to your schedule, because your schedule, again, is completely different than my schedule. Your schedule is going to be based on your regular daily routine, the rest of the stuff that you're doing throughout the day. Now, I have some very busy professionals that I work with, and what they tend to do is they'll like to take their stuff that they do and do it very first thing in the morning and sort of split it up. So here's one suggestion for a daily method of operation if you're not really sure how to put it in. If you've got a crazy busy day, the night before you go to bed, the night before, just right before you go to bed, you want to set up and get prepped for the next day. So you're going to open up all your tabs, and we'll get into prospecting. We'll show you how that's going to happen going through the rest of the week. We'll show you how to set those tabs up. We'll actually do a screen share and show you how that works. So in the night before, you're going to prep. So you're going to open up all your tabs. You're going to get everybody ready to go, whether that's on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook, wherever it is. You're going to have all those opened up. You're going to have your script opened up so you can copy and paste that. You're going to be ready to go, ready to fly through those and be able to reach out. So you have those the next morning. The thing you also want to do is the night before is just any follow-up. So anybody that responded to you early in today, you can go through and do your follow-ups. It's not important that you do your follow-up immediately when somebody replies. It's nice if you can, if you're free and you get a notification that somebody replied to you and you're free and you can follow up right there and you can catch them while they're actually still on social media, hopefully, right? But if not, that's absolutely okay. If you have a full-time job and you're working all day and you can't respond to messages, that's okay, because guess what? They're probably going to respond and go back to doing their full day too. And you might have to play a little bit of phone tag with them. In other words, going back and forth so you guys can connect. I've got a gentleman that's over in Cairo. I think they're like whoever I think lives over that way somewhere. He's 5 hours ahead of us. And we've been playing phone tag, trying to play a little bit of catch up. So your DMO, the 3 reasons why. One is when you have a written DMO. Let me go back to explaining this. So the night before, you're going to do your follow-ups if there's any follow-ups to be done. So you're going to follow up with whatever needs to be follow-up, and you're going to prep for the next day. In the morning, and this is just one suggestion, in the morning when you get up, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to, pee, pray, get your coffee, whatever that routine is, make your bed, get that ready to go. You're going to jump on your computer, and then you're going to do your prospects. So prospect, reach out. I would suggest, because you're going to get on social media and you're going to get stuck reading all of the junk, right? You're going to get distracted. And it's very, very important that you make that activity the very, very first thing you do is actually do your prospecting. Reach out to the people that you're reaching out to and get that out of the way. That's done for the day, right? So you don't have to do anything. Now you can get back into your regular life routine of the kids, the husband, the dog, the cat, the job, whatever it is that you're doing through the day. And then at the end of the day, again, you go in, you check, you do your follow-ups, right? And then you prep for the next day. And if you do that, that's a suggestion that might help if you're super, super busy, you work a lot of hours as a daily routine. Now, some of you may be able to plug in stuff during the middle of the day on the other hand. So how many people do you reach out to in a day? Completely up to you. There's no magic number to this. I do know this. The reason we're doing the 5,000 Prospecting Blitz Challenge is some of you are going to learn some heavy duty lessons during this challenge. It's really going to push your envelope. It's going to really make you look for holes in that DMO. It's going to really make you start writing stuff down. It's really going to make you focus. It's going to be a stupid muscle building boot camp exercise. If you want some sore muscles in marketing and prospecting and business building, the 5,000 day challenge, the 5,000 day challenge. It's going to be 5,000 days because you can do it every day for 5,000 days, but this is primarily a 5,000 person prospecting challenge. It's going to build some muscles. It's going to build a follow-up muscle. It's going to build a DMO muscle. You're going to look for holes in your DMO. The Netflix, it's so important that you got to watch, probably won't get watched. I mean, it's going to make you really push yourself to be able to do this. It's going to be a little bit different. It's fun, horrific, and you're going to realize, like, heck, I could easily reach out to 200 people in a day if I really wanted to. And Coach Rebecca this morning, she talked about a really good training in rank maker. She talked about consistency versus value. And one of the points that she brought up is we don't have a problem with being consistent. We consistently show up to everything in life. We consistently show up to go into work. We consistently show up to everything else. What we find in the reason we don't take the activity in prospecting a lot of times is the value, right? Anything that we don't put value in, or anything that we don't really find value in, we tend to not to do, right? We don't have value in it. So if you find yourself not prospecting, or you find yourself not doing your follow-ups, maybe it's a value issue, not necessarily a consistency issue. So there's a thought for you. And if you're in Rank Makers and you didn't catch Rebecca's training this morning, I highly recommend you go listen to it. It was off the chain fire. She had a home run with the consistency versus value training. So DMO. So one, the reason you want to do a DMO, and again, your DMO is your DMO. If you're brand new and you've never done any prospecting before, we'll talk about that a little bit, but primarily pick out a time, right? Pick out a time that you're going to prospect, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever it is. Pick out a time that you're going to prospect. And then this is where you're going to learn in that muscle how many people can actually reach out to during that prospecting time. So one of the reasons that you want to have a DMO is going to help you remain consistent, right? A daily method of operation is going to help you remain consistent, so you can look at your calendar. You're going to plan your calendar. Like I said, I use my written planner that I write my stuff in. That's not my non-negotiables. It's an appointment. It's something there. I use Google Sheets as my follow-up, right? It's my follow-up system. We're going to talk about that here, and I think it's, next couple of days. It's one of the days we're going to talk about Google Sheets, and I'll walk you through and show you how to use that, how the formulas are all built in. If you're not using Google Sheets yet, it's a really cool way, sort of, I shouldn't say automated way, but it's with all the formulas that I've set built in, and I'll share that with you guys as well, so that you can have your own personal Google Sheets if that's something that you want to use for following up. And I think the formulas work the same way in Excel, if I'm sure. So one, is it going to help you remain consistent because you have everything written down. You'll know in your planner what you've got to do that day. You'll look, okay, I've got this going on today. I've got this meeting to go to. I've got this training I've got to be on. I've got this time to prospect in. So you're going to do it. I've got to do my follow-ups. However you schedule that, it's your DMO. Very, very important that you make it yours, not Forrest and not anybody else. It's your day. It's your life. It's your DMO, right? You want to make sure have it written down. Of course, you need somewhere written down that's easy to access your follow-up, so you know when to do the next follow-up, how many days. I had a day where I had like 241 follow-ups scheduled in one day. And I was like, guess what? They're not getting done today because I had too much other stuff going on between my regular daily routine and the other stuff that I had written down. I wasn't going to make those 241 follow-ups. Wasn't the end of the world, so I simply looked at them and I moved them to a few other days down the week. And I'm pretty sure the people that were, I think it was like my 60-day follow-up, they weren't going to notice that it wasn't exactly 60 days. It was more like 62 or 63 or 64 days. They were probably fine with that. They weren't sitting there like, how come Forrest isn't following him up? It's been 60 days since he reached out. They forgot about me. They're not thinking about me, right? So you can do that. But I had it on my follow-up calendar on my Google Sheets. I was like, wow, that's a lot. And it ain't going to get done today. So I was honest, because if I didn't know that, right, if I hadn't written that down, that I had those planned out, and I didn't have my daily plan, I would have been trying to push stuff in where it wasn't going to fit, and it just wasn't going to happen, right? For example, when I had my full-time gig, Mondays was completely different than it is today. I would have never been doing a Facebook Live at 4:15 in the afternoon on Monday. Just wasn't happening. So one of the things I've done now is that it gives me the ability so far to do every day during the week, with exception of Sundays. I'm doing them at 7:15 because I don't do business on Sunday in the daytime. But every day during the week, I'm doing my lives at 4:15 Central Standard Time because it's something I want to do. Hey, Porsche, thanks for swinging by. So Anand, thanks for swinging by. So check this out. So DMO, one, is going to help you remain consistent, right? Number two, here's the one. It's like, what? It allows flexibility, just like I talked about. When you go down and you write down your daily plan, right, your stuff that you got to do, and you can put your non-negotiables on there, your husband time, your kid time, you're dropping the kids off at school, write it down so you can look at the holes in your calendar in the times. I don't know why I keep preaching over your mates, because my planner's over here, but write it down so that you can look at it and say, okay, this is the time. Okay, I can do here. I can prospect in this time, right? Don't forget to put lunch and dinner and breakfast on there if you need to, right? I actually put lunch and dinner on my planner So I can stop and go, ooh, I got to eat, right? Got to keep the machine going here. If I don't eat, I'll fall out. So it allows flexibility if something happens, like my daughter's moving and she wanted some help. So I was able to, go grab some tools, run over her apartment real quick, help her take some stuff apart so she can get ready to move. And I came back and I looked at my calendar and I adjusted stuff a little bit and I was okay. So when I ended up only being a few minutes late for this life day, which wasn't a big deal. So, so it allows flexibility. The third thing, which I've been talking about the entire time, it allows you to track and measure your results. So as your DMO goes through, you can look at your DMO and say, okay, I prospected this many times this week. It also helps if you're in Rank Makers and the 100K Inner Circle. When you fill out your tracker on Sundays, you can go back, even on your daily method of operate on your planner. You can write down at the top how many people you reached out to that day. Right in that blank that you've got that space that says prospecting, you reached out to number, you can write it in your daily plan. You can write it in there. You get how many follow-ups you did, right? How many customers you got, how many teammates you got. You can write it right in that day, depending on what's going on. And I'll close with this. Someone had brought up that I didn't put how I interact with my team on my calendar. And here's why. It's because I use my upline diamond is a bad dude. He's awesome. And he has put together a system that I plug everybody into. I'm plugged into it. I'm using a duplicatable system. I plug my people into it. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel if the wheel is already working. If it's greased, it's well oiled, it's running. Now, if somebody needs some training like what I'm doing here, they might need a script. They might need some following up. I might set up some time to do that. But I'm doing that inside my group. I'm going to stream that and I'm going to do that training inside my group. And here's how I do this. And this is sort of the bonus training for people that ask that question. Every Monday, like tonight, every Monday night, we have a team call at, I think they just moved to 8 o'clock, but we have a team call in the evenings, right? That team call is for everyone on our team that wants to plug in. Guess what? When somebody comes on board my team, I give them a schedule that's actually in our team group with a list of everything that's going on. I said, here's the schedule for the week. I also tag them in our corporate trainings. Our corporate trainings are here, and I point them to our corporate calendar. So here's our corporate calendar. Here's our team events calendar. Here's all our group. This is everything that you need for your business, right? They can plug in. They can plug into me doing trainings anytime that they want to. I also suggest and recommend that they join Rank Makers, just like I did, so that they can have a daily activity of schedule to get into the routine to build their business. So this is how I introduce my team. I reach out to them. I don't do a long drawn out training because I'm not doing it. That's not duplicatable. What I do is say our trainings are Monday night for our team training. Here's our corporate calls. Here's our team calls all week long. Here's our corporate calls all week long. Here's our Saturday corporate training, which is off the chain. We also do a corporate deal on Tuesdays, which is absolutely awesome. So we've got all that. So I make sure that they have the calendar in their hands, and it's their responsibility as an independent business owner to freaking show up and raise their hand and say, hey, I'm stuck. I need some help with this. And I let them know that up front. I said, if you get stuck, if you're not sure, I've got scripts, right? We're talking about all this. I've got all these tools that I also share. I say, here's your scripts. And I'll point them to a video that I did on how to reach out. I've got a 4 simple steps video that walks people through on where to find people. And I talk about all the platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, so on and so forth. I've got that. Also say, here's the scripts. I'll share the scripts with you. And this is what it sounds like. And I do a recorded, like I walk them through the scripts and I talk about the next step of how to do the presentation and what to say during the presentation. And of course, I also do step 4, which is a follow-up. How do I follow up and what to do next? And I've recorded all of that, right? Which is completely duplicatable that anyone on my team can share it with anyone else on the team. That's the exact same thing. I'm not teaching anything any different than what I learned in Rank Makers. I'm not using any tools outside of what my team diamond and upline diamond has completely put together. There's no reason for me to reinvent the wheel other than the fact that I have a Facebook group where I put all my personal training stuff that I just explained that I can point people to, say, go to the group, watch, this is how you prospect, go to the corporate deal, go to our team deal, this is how you get plugged into the team, and that's it. That's what I do with my team. That's duplicatable. That's what I do. That's what I expect them to do. That's what I expect them to get plugged into. And if they do all of that, they're going to eventually, and they hustle like I hustle, right? Because they may not hustle like I hustle. They may not have the opportunity to have a DMO like I do, because they got a lot of different stuff going on, kids, moms, so on and so forth. I have one lady I coach that lives in the Dominican Republic. She has to take care of her mom. So her DMO is going to be based around her mom's schedule, because her mom is all over the place. She's got some dementia and stuff, so she's all over the place, and she needs to plug in with her, right, and help her. So her schedule, her DMO is basically based on what's going on with her mom that day, but she's got her list of activities that she knows she needs to do in that day. So sometimes she may get up in the morning, depending on what was happening with her mom the night before, and do the DMO. She may have to do something with her mom, and she does it afterwards, right? So very, very important you understand that if you schedule your DMO, you have it all mapped out, you have it all written down, everything else is going to be in place. Do not reinvent the wheel. If your corporate company has a corporate overview, plug people into the overview. If your upline team has an upline training, plug them into that. If your team has an upline group, plug them into that group where possible. If they have a whole bunch of groups, I personally wouldn't plug them into a whole bunch of groups. I plug them in just to the primary important group that they need to be plugged into, because sometimes people get distracted trying to be in too many groups at one time. If you got some value, share your number one takeaway below, or share your number two takeaways. Again, we're getting prepped for the 5,000 prospecting blitz challenge. If you want to join, I don't care what business you're in, we're going to be doing it right here on this page, on this channel right here on Facebook, right here. We're going to be doing that tomorrow. We're going to be going over scripts, like what to say. What do I say when I prospect somebody? How do I do that? And we'll talk about how to have a normal conversation, how to reach out to people, how to prospect people, both on the warm market side, right? Warm market and cold market, which is my all-time favorite in cold market prospecting. I love you. Jesus loves you. There's absolutely nothing to do about that. I'm on a mission to have no more empty refrigerators, make an extreme impact, and be an equity creator. I hope you are too. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.